China, over the last 20 years, has moved to absolutely the forefront of almost every zero carbon or low carbon technology that we have and that we need. It's the low cost producer of photovoltaics. It's the low cost producer of wind turbines. It's the world's low cost producer for the new hydrogen economy. It's the world's low cost effective producer for electric vehicles. It's the world's low cost producer for the battery supply chains that we need. It's the world's low cost producer for long distance transmission of renewable energy. It's the world's low cost producers of 5.5G for digital transmission, which now becomes the backbone of the new power sector and energy sector infrastructure. It's the world's leader in fourth generation nuclear power. This was not by accident. China took on this challenge. It really took on this challenge starting about a dozen years ago, very intensively. And in its technological blueprint, it identified these sectors as sectors of the future where China wanted to make sure that it was investing in the research and development. It has succeeded. Now China offers something unique in the world, which is a massive manufacturing platform of advanced technologies for the energy transformation, just what we need. People in the US said, oh, well, China has overcapacity. This is not at all right. China has massive capacity and it needs to be deployed massively globally. I believe that the most important single program to do that is the Belt and Road Initiative, because the Belt and Road Initiative is essentially China making an observation and an offer to the rest of the world. And the observation is we will be better if we are interconnected through physical infrastructure, through the digital world, and aiming to achieve a sustainable development trajectory. That's the vision. And the offer is we will help to finance that. We will help to provide the financing, the technology, the partnership, the design, the connectivity, the openness of markets so that this works. I see Belt and Road projects all over the world. I was in rural Ethiopia a few months ago and was taken to very poor areas of agriculture. It happened to be avocado growing region now. Why? Because China had built a fast rail between Addis Ababa and Djibouti, and because China had financed a major increase of power capacity. So suddenly these farmers had two things that they never had before. They had energy for their pumps, for their irrigation, for their harvesting, for their machines, and they had transport to carry their avocados to the port in Djibouti so that they could be fresh and on the breakfast table in Dubai the next day. And this was a breakthrough, and these farmers were making money, and they were expanding their farms, and they were showing my wife and me their new houses that they were building.
Fantastic.
This was really economic development. And this is what BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, makes possible. It makes possible a way for a massive uptake of digital and green technologies. In the case of Ethiopia, the power is hydroelectric power. In other places, it's massive solar fields or massive wind fields. China's electric vehicles are, of course, setting the world pace right now. They're dominating the world markets. Interestingly, why? Well, I can tell you why. On the one side, in Europe, for 15 years, I watched it closely. Volkswagen, Daimler-Benz, Mercedes said, you know, we produce great cars. The world loves them. Why should we shift? And you'd say, well, climate change. Well, yes, but that's a long way off. So they procrastinated, they dragged their feet. In the United States, it was on again, off again. We want EVs. No, we don't want EVs. We're in a phase right now where we don't want EVs according to our government and so forth. China said, of course we need electric vehicles. It made a major effort both in terms of infrastructure and in terms of promoting the technology. And suddenly there were hundreds of EV manufacturers in China in the most intense competition during the last 10 years. A few not only have come out on top, at least for the moment in this intense competition, but they've become the world leaders. And so this is a breakthrough by a mix of government design and private sector innovation and initiative. All of this is what the world needs right now. So we're in a complicated geopolitical and macroeconomic environment. The United States has turned protectionist, partly because it's so late to the game in some of these areas. The U.S. says, oh, we can't compete with China on EVs. Oh, we can't compete with China in some of these other areas because they wasted their time for so long. But in any event, with the U.S. market closing, China sees that, well, we have all this capacity we would have exported to the U.S. What do? Some American economists say, oh, you should boost consumption. I take a little bit different point of view, which is boost the Belt and Road Initiative, make it a bigger program. The whole world needs these technologies. We need to transform the world. If China lends to these countries, they will grow rapidly. I recommend that the loans should be 20 or 30-year loans, not 5 to 10-year loans, because in 5 or 10 years, these economies will still be poor. 25 years, if they followed the Chinese path, they're going to be rich enough to have the huge benefit of the financing and to repay everything that was lent to them. So my basic view is that China's tremendously significant capacity in these areas is really lucky for the whole world. We should just strike out the term overcapacity. That's ridiculous. We need even more capacity because the scale of the transformation we need globally is immense, and we need to do it quickly, and I'll come back to that in a moment, and China will play a huge role in that. Incidentally, China should not only lend to other countries, but also Chinese companies, the great Chinese companies, should invest in direct investment in production in these countries, help build their economies as well through the direct increase of the manufacturing or industrial base in the partner countries as well. All of this is taking place at a moment where the climate crisis is suddenly, dramatically accelerating before our eyes. And I just want to underscore this point. In the last 4 years, the Earth's temperature has increased by more than 0.3 degrees Celsius. It used to take 15 to 20 years for that kind of increase. It happened in the last 4 years. And at first, scientists said, well, yes, we have an El Nino, that's a temporary warming, but things will revert. Well, now we have a La Nina in the Pacific, and the temperatures aren't coming back down. Yeah. What we're understanding now is we've essentially reached the 1.5 degrees Celsius level that we pledged not to reach. And we're just about there, or even beyond it, or just below it on trend. This is dramatic news. This should be saying to the governments, oh my God, it's even farther along than we thought. We have to go even faster than we thought. We've not heard that right now from certainly not the United States, which is apparently planning to pull out of the Paris Agreement again just at the wrong moment. But the rest of the world should take notice. We are on an accelerated trend of warming that is extraordinarily dangerous and calls on everybody to go even faster than they thought they had to go.
Yeah.